This video contains disturbing themes that may not be suitable for sensitive viewers. Watch until the end. The final story reveals a detail that still haunts detectives today. The police said the killer never ran. But the terrifying part? Everyone who ran died faster. The police didn't understand the reports at first. Every caller said the same thing, but they said it confused, like they were embarrassed to admit it. He didn't chase him. He didn't hurry. He was just walking. At 2:22 a.m., the first body was found behind a closed laundromat. The victim's shoes were worn down to the fabric. His lungs were torn from overexertion. His legs were cramping when he died. The medical examiner wrote one strange note. Cause of death occurred after prolonged attempt to flee. Security footage showed the man running, panicked, desperate, and behind him, a tall figure, walking, frame by frame. Investigators slowed the footage. The runner's shadow stretched longer. The walker's shadow stayed the same. Yet somehow, the distance between them disappeared. By the third killing, witnesses stopped screaming. They whispered. One woman stared at a detective and said, "He didn't look angry. He looked patient, like he knew time was on his side." Another witness broke down crying. "I told him to run," she sobbed. "I told him to go faster." The man in the dark coat turned his head and said calmly, "Please don't." That witness survived. The man who ran did not. The pattern was undeniable now. Every victim ran. Every survivor didn't. People were found dead in stairwells, hallways, tunnels, places meant for escape. Their bodies twisted in exhaustion, faces frozen in terror, throats cut only after they collapsed, as if the killing wasn't the point. The running was. Officer Daniel Hayes saw him at 2:22 a.m. Always that time. The man walked down the empty street like he belonged there. No rush, no tension. Hayes stepped out of his patrol car. "Sir," he called, "why don't you run?" The man stopped, turned, smiled. "Because," he said softly, "movement changes the distance." Before Hayes could ask what that meant, footsteps echoed. A teenager burst from a side street, running full speed, breath ragged, eyes wide. Hayes screamed at him to stop. The boy didn't listen. The man in the coat didn't move faster. He didn't need to. The more the boy ran, the closer the man became. Not physically, existentially, like fear itself was pulling him forward. The boy fell. The man appeared beside him instantly. One quiet motion, one wet sound, then stillness. Hayes raised his gun and fired. The bullets passed through the man, like smoke, like absence. The man stepped closer. "You almost made the mistake," he whispered. Hayes felt something primal tighten in his chest. The urge to run. The man smiled wider. "Don't," he said. Hayes forced himself to walk backward. Every step slow, every muscle screaming. The man stayed exactly the same distance away, watching, waiting. Then he vanished. Hayes quit the force. Doctors said he had anticipatory panic disorder. He said they were wrong. He just understood now. He never runs. Not for buses. Not from danger. Not even in his dreams. Because sometimes, late at night, when his heart starts racing, he hears footsteps behind him. Slow, measured, walking. And he knows, if he ever runs, it will be over before he gets anywhere. No one ever called the police from the house on Grenton Street. Not once. In a neighborhood where people dialed 911 for barking, dogs, and loud arguments, that house stayed perfectly silent. Yet people vanished around it. A jogger disappeared mid-route. A teenage girl walking home never arrived. A rideshare driver's car was found abandoned, warm engine, driver gone. Police investigated. They questioned neighbors. They knocked on doors. When they reached that house, no one answered. Records said it belonged to Arthur Bell, 83 years old. No criminal history. No emergency calls. No visitors. The case went cold until Lena moved in next door. Lena worked night shifts at the hospital. She noticed patterns. The house lights never turned on, yet silhouettes moved inside. Trash was taken out only once a week, always at 3:17 a.m. And sometimes, when the wind shifted, The smell of iron filled the air. But the worst part, people entered the house. No one ever came out. One night, Lena saw a man knock on Arthur Bell's door. 3 slow knocks. Arthur opened it, smiling. The man stepped inside. The door closed. It never opened again. Lena called the police the next morning. They said there was no evidence of a crime. Weeks passed. The knocking continued. Different people. Same silence. Until one night, Lena noticed something new. A faint red glow pulsing behind the curtains. She crossed the street. The door was unlocked. Inside, the walls were lined with photographs. Hundreds of them. Every face terrified. Every photo labeled with a date and a time. Almost all of them read 2:22 a.m. She heard breathing behind her. Arthur Bell stood there. "They never call," he whispered. Even when they could. She ran. This time, the police believed her. They searched the house. What they found never made the news. Hidden rooms beneath the foundation. Soundproof concrete. Chains fused into the walls. And a table with a phone. Fully connected. Arthur Bell confessed calmly. "I give them one rule," he said. "If they touch the phone, I make it last longer." He was sentenced to life. The house was sealed, boarded up, condemned. Years passed. Then, one night, a new officer working dispatch noticed something strange. At 2:22 a.m., a call appeared on the system. No number, no location, just static, breathing. The call dropped after 12 seconds. It happened again the next night. And the next. They traced it. The signal came from Grenton Street. From the house. Impossible. The line was disconnected decades ago. Police forced the door open. The house was empty. No furniture. No photos. No basement. Only one thing remained. A phone on the floor. Off the hook. Still ringing. And carved into the wall above it. Fresh. Deep. As if done with fingernails. We tried to call. The police said the killer had no pattern, no signature, no motive. But they were wrong. Because every victim was chosen for the same reason. They noticed him. I first saw him on a Tuesday. I remember the day because Tuesdays are quiet. No rush. No noise. No reason to remember anything. I was working the late shift at a small convenience store just outside town. Around 2:11 a.m., the door chimed and he walked in. He didn't look dangerous. That's what still bothers me. Mid-30s. Clean clothes. Normal face. Not handsome, not ugly. The kind of man you forget the second you stop looking at him. He stood in the snack aisle for a long time, reading labels like he'd never seen food before. Every few seconds, he glanced at the security mirror above him. Not at the camera, at his reflection. When he finally came to the counter, he placed a single bottle of water down very carefully. Too carefully. Long night. I asked. I say that to everyone. He paused, then smiled. "Yes," he said, after thinking about it. "I'm practicing." Practicing what? He looked confused, like the question hadn't occurred to him. Being normal. I laughed. He didn't. He paid an exact change, thanked me 3 times, and left. I didn't think about him again until 3 days later, when they found the body. She was a woman in her early 20s. College student. Found in her apartment bathroom. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. The police said she died peacefully. That word made me sick. Peaceful. Her eyes were open. On the mirror, written in lipstick, were 5 words. Did I do it right? After that, the deaths started coming faster. A bus driver, a nurse, a man who lived alone and spoke to no one. Different ages, different genders, different places, but always the same details. No forced entry, no defensive wounds. Victims who had interacted with a stranger shortly before dying. And always a message, written on walls, on mirrors, on scraps of paper. Was I convincing? Did you notice? I smiled like you do. The media called him the mimic, but the police had nothing. No fingerprints, no DNA, no clear face on any camera. Just witnesses who all described him the same way. He looked normal. I realized the truth a week later. He came back. Same time, 2:22 a.m. The door chimed. This time, I felt it immediately, the pressure in the air. The instinct that tells animals to freeze before they die. He stood closer now, watching me directly. "You didn't forget me," he said. It wasn't a question. I I see a lot of people, I replied. He nodded, satisfied. That's good. That means I did it right last time. My throat went dry. What do you want? I asked. He smiled again, but this time it was wrong. Too delayed. Too studied. I want to know something, he said. When you look at me, do I look like a person? I didn't answer. He leaned in. Because I watch you, he whispered. I watch how you talk, how you blink, how you pretend not to be scared. I copy it all. My hand moved slowly under the counter toward the panic button. He noticed. Oh, he said softly. That's new. Before I could press it, he stepped back. Don't worry, he added. You're not part of the test. He left. That night, I locked the store early and threw up in the sink. The next morning, another body was found. On the chest, carved carefully. Still learning. The police finally released a profile. They said the killer didn't understand people, didn't feel emotions, was studying humanity through interaction. They said he killed to see reactions. They said he was improving. I knew better. He wasn't learning how to be human. He was learning how to pass. Weeks later, the killings stopped. No bodies. No messages. No sightings. The town relaxed. People forgot. But I didn't. Because sometimes, when customers smiled at me, I noticed something strange. The pause before the smile. The way they checked my face for approval. How carefully they said thank you. Then, last night, I found something taped under the counter. A folded piece of paper. My name written on the front. Inside, 5 words. I think I'm ready now. And underneath, a photo, taken from behind me, at the store, at 2:22 a.m. I'm working the late shift again tonight. If you're listening to this, if you notice someone who looks normal, please don't stare, because that's how he chooses. And if he's perfected it, you'll never know he isn't human. Until he stops practicing.